Good morning, Warrior. Today we're going to be talking about the big thing that happened to me that caused me to lose my motivation, that caused me to lose my mojo, and become the chubby hubby after being a hot hubby, after being in like really elite physical condition. So we're going to talk about that thing that it is. I mentioned it before a little bit. I kind of alluded to it. I actually realized this during my recent weight loss transformation journey. So in case you don't know, we could summarize my story a little bit. So I started out, we won't go way back to childhood, me being a little chubby kid growing up, but we'll just kind of start it where my wife and I met. When my wife and I met, I was really hot. And I was a personal trainer at the club. I was a bodybuilder, had fat percentage around, it was about 6%, 7% during the training days. When I do a show, it was like 3-4% doing a show, but that's not really realistic to hold on to that low body fat because it really sucked. But that's about as low as you can possibly get, 3-4%. No energy, you're dead, you're like a zombie, and like nothing to, when you're at 3-4%, it's not fun. Like you can like do it for like a week, and then that was the show, and then it was like, okay, back to my normal operating was like 6-7% body fat. Anyways, I then met my wife, and got married, and basically like the month we got married, like it started month we got met and then later got married, it started slipping. I started going downhill. Drinks and dinners out started replacing my workouts, and it just like a switch was flipped. I don't know if you've ever been there, but it was just like I could not figure it out for the life of me, and it just kind of like down went down after that. Fast forward, we got engaged, got married. Fast forward about 6 years, and I put on about, at that point, 6 years into the relationship. So it was like 3-ish years, 4 years of marriage, 3 years of dating, and it was around 65 pounds of fat at that point, overweight, and 0 muscle, 0 pounds of muscle, because I did work out, but it was the home workouts, and I wasn't really going anywhere with them. I would join the gym, and then I would show up for like a couple weeks and then lose my mojo. Throughout that 6 weeks, I was like constantly gaining 5 pounds, losing 5 pounds, gaining 10 pounds, losing 10 pounds. Just kind of went back and forth. Like I remember every year of that 6 years, New Year's resolutions, I was the New Year's resolutioner. Like, that's it, this is the year, let me lose this weight. And I would like hit it hard for a month or so. I like joined the gym, and then a month later, I was very the cliche New Year's resolutioner that fell off the wagon a couple months later. Here's the big thing that I realized. So this is going on about 2 years ago now. I've lost where I was the chubby hubby, where that was my final like nail in the coffin of like, that's it, I'm doing something about this, was when my motivation issues infected my wife, and she was put on weight, and she was really unhappy with where she was, and she came to our room that night just bawling, and like she was sick of her weight, she was sick of the insecurities that she had with it. She just didn't feel good about herself, and I felt responsible for it, because when we got married, I was the hot one. I was the in shape one. I was the personal trainer. And then I just went downhill after that, and I felt like it was my fault. Like, I'm not being a very good influence on her. So let's see if the cop is in our usual spot. No cop in there today. This is the same route that I take just about every day. I could probably do this route driving with my eyes closed, so it's 0 problems at all. All right, so that's where I was like, that was it, doing something about this. I hit it hard. I plateaued after a little bit, and then we won't get lost into that, but I basically like figured it out. At that point, my main focus was actually to solve my motivation issues going into it, because I knew that was a problem from before. For those 6 years I was going backwards. It was like, where's my motivation? Where's my motivation? Getting and staying motivated was my hiccup. So I realized that, hold on one second. Looking good. Safe driver. Safe driver, save 500%. Is that how the quote goes? So I realized what drove me before. We all had like a primary motivation driver, PMD. When my very first weight loss transformation, when I was a chubby kid, and then my early 20s, I got my heart broken, and then I hit the weights, hit the gym really hard. My primary motivator driver was to win my ex back, to make her jealous, have me back. At that point, I was like 100 pounds overweight, and that's where I discovered a love for fitness. That's where I discovered a love for working out, for lifting weights, and that transformed into a career in it when I became a personal trainer and bodybuilder. So that was my main motivator before. When I was a personal trainer at the club, my main motivator driver was because I was lonely at that point. I was still dealt with a lot of insecurities, a lot of internal problems, and worthiness issues, and that I tried to mask with my workouts. I tried to okay, if I just work out good enough, hard enough. And I wanted to attract a mate. I wanted to attract a wife, a girlfriend. I wanted to get her. I had I had a huge hole in my soul of I wanted to be a boyfriend. I wanted to be a husband. I wanted to be a father. And so I wanted to attract a mate, attract a partner. And so during the time I was personal training, when I was bodybuilding, when I was elite fitness levels, I had girlfriends in there. They would come and go, girlfriends come and go. And so I kind of dealt with the little breakup pain, I'm just gonna go, I'm feeling heartbroken, let me just take it all in the workout, let me help use that. So I had a lot of that going on during that time. Let's see, that was from so I became a personal trainer when I was 26 or 27, somewhere in there, later half of the 20s. And then so I was a personal trainer for about 4 years. I met my wife when I was 31. So about 4 or 5 years-ish in there. So during that point, it was a lot off and on. It was a lot of 1 week girlfriends here and there. Someone I would dump. Some would dump me. It went back and forth. So a lot of that. When I got married, when I met my wife, it was love at first sight. And it was just oh, it's you. I can't explain that feeling, Warrior. I can't explain when I met her, I was just oh, I'm meant for you. You're the one that I've been looking for this whole time. It was just automatically clicked. And she felt the same about me as well. Red light. And if you watched the Squid Game on Netflix yet, it's red light, green light. So whenever I come up upon stoplights now, it's always I always think of that Squid Game. Red light, green light, red light, green light. So back to her story. We got married. She filled my soul. She filled my heart. And I realized that I was always pushing myself so hard in the gym. I was always working out so hard. I always devoted myself to my fitness so much because I had a lot of internal pain. I had a lot of internal hiccups. I didn't like myself. I didn't like my life. I liked the job I was doing, but I was still there was that missing element. There was that missing piece. Where was that? So I got a slow guy. Decided to cut in front of me. And then go slow. He's an old classic car, so he gets a pass. I know you can't see him, but he's behind me now. And that was my primary reason for falling off the wagon, for losing focus on fitness. It was no longer I needed to work out to cover up that pain. It's kind of like people that I know it's not similar, and I've been an alcoholic before. I've struggled with alcoholism, and it felt a lot like that, where I just drank all the time because I was in pain. I was miserable and was pain and depressed. It wasn't depression, but it was just like that mopey, blah, blah, I don't like my life kind of thing. Same reason like people turn to drugs. I don't know. I never struggled with anything but alcoholism, but from what I hear, people that struggle with like drugs and what have you, it's along those lines. My wife, when I met her, we fell in love. She loved me for me. She loved me for my soul and my heart and my personality, and she wasn't with me for the muscle. She wasn't with me for the body. She wasn't with me because I was super hot. That stuff helped, and but it wasn't why she was with me. Versus a lot of the girlfriends that I had before her was basically with me because they're attracted to me, and then there's not enough of my personality to keep it going, to sustain it. Kind of in case you didn't know, I'm kind of a loser. Okay, I don't know. Maybe I'm not. Thanks to my wife, maybe I feel better about myself these days. But anyway, so I had to reconcile that during this latest weight loss transformation from chubby hubby to hot hubby. I had for me, my primary motivator driver now, my PMD, or is it PDM? PDM. Sorry, I had that backwards earlier. Sorry, PDM, primary driver motivator. No, either one of those. So nowadays, I realized the big conclusion I came to. I'm sorry it took me 11 minutes for this to come to this conclusion, but it's a little bit of a breakthrough I had a few months ago where I was like, oh my goodness, it was like almost like a punishment to my wife for loving me for me instead of my body, and then I let myself go. Like, it wasn't fair to my wife on that regards. Like, why should she be punished by and punishment I mean having a chubby hubby, not being physically attracted to me, not being proud of me? Why should my wife be punished for that, for loving me for me, instead of the other way around? Why shouldn't she be rewarded for it? I love her so much, and she's like the coolest person that I know, the most wonderful person I know, and I'm very honored and blessed to be with her. And on top of that, she's gorgeous. She's beautiful. It's herself, and she is quite physically attractive. I think so. So why should she suffer for it? By her suffering, meaning living with a chubby hubby, having a chubby hubby, especially knowing where I came from, especially knowing my past, versus the other way around. And that was not cool with me. It was one of the things of like, I want my wife to be proud of me. I want my wife to brag about me to her friends, to her family. Look at my husband. He's a hot husband now. I want my friends, not my friends, my wife's friends, to say to her, whoa, your husband's hot. Well, you got a hot husband. And then she would use that to, yeah, I do. Pretty awesome. So that was on my wife's side. For me, it was also like to take our marriage to another level. I was not the best husband that I could be. I didn't feel good about myself as a husband. Aside from the physical attraction side, I wasn't very confident. For me, my confidence raises with my fitness levels, with my looks, with my muscle levels. For me, it's very positive correlated. So I knew like if I would be showing up as a better husband, as a more confident husband, not only in the day-to-day life, day-to-day husband-y operations, I don't know if that made sense, but more so in the bedroom as well, more so in the sack, getting her on and stuff. I wasn't a very good lover because I wasn't confident, didn't feel good about myself, our lovemaking was very sporadic, and that was totally my fault. On top of the physical issues, that was with the heavy weight, like I'm going to be honest with you, I had trouble keeping it up. I had trouble sustaining you know what? I wasn't in the mood as much as I used to be, much as I was, and I was like in my 30s, so it was like, this way too soon should be happening, way too soon. And I blame it on the weight. I blame it on that, because it was true. Okay, So that I was mindful of as well. So nowadays, my primary motivator driver is, yeah, I like that PMD. Primary motivator driver is to basically show up as the best husband I can be, and then to let that be the thing that was for. So I'm at the gym. I gotta go work out my clients. It's been awesome to you through here. You stay awesome, and I love you lots. We're on the next one. Bye.